Take it away.
Good day to you all. We're glad you are here. We won't take much time, so please do not fear. We wanted to present in a way that was musical, but since we can't sing, we'll present something Susical. If Seuss were alive in 2005, he'd have known what it took for recruiters to survive. To post and to pray is no longer the way, and innovation is what it now takes every day. Sodexo recruiters stand on mountains steep and tall and have a mission. We aspire to share our vision with you all. 10 years together, and the best gift we could receive is to stand atop those mountains and find more goals to achieve.
Our product is our people, and we sell it far and wide, providing quality of life solutions, and we are hitting our stride. We deal in kroners and pesos and euros and the pound, and talent acquisition is called to source the strongest talent around. 100 on our team all across this great land work in a virtual environment, and it's really quite grand. Filling 5,700 jobs and always finding a better way. We hire for 8,000 locations in Canada and the USA. Never stagnant or stuck on the same old status quo, our recruiters always strive to adapt, change, and grow.
Strong employment branding is the base of our secret sauce. It ties in all the elements when we give it a toss. Driving results, diversity, and inclusion. This all plays a part in our employment branding fusion.
We follow the road to success by and by and support a culture that lets our team fly. Find challenges and take risks, we often dare, and you will bring forth rewards we can share.
Microsites and mobile sites, Facebook and Twitter too, specialty teams and college relationships, we have more than a few.
Our tech time in Second Life was most certainly innocuous, but we are upping the game and look to make use of Facebook Oculus.
Strong connections are a must with our techie legacy, and you will notice how this plays out in our sociability.
Our hiring stats from social are really quite good. We have candidates from all over visit our social neighborhood. Internals and externals use our social space to prep. Many of these candidates make it beyond the interview step. Our blog's a clear hit, the candidates exclaim. It provides useful information and helps them take aim.
We added this slide because we are no fool. Sodexo mentioned in a sexy quote. That's just super cool.
I'm sexy and I know it.
In 2004, who could have known that by 2014, this is how we have grown? Dozens of options for candidates to reach out. Feeling lost in the web? Just give us a shout. This is back of the house, and it's integrated for sure, all guided by ISIMS and, of course, Abitur.
Come talk with us. We've got so many ways. We're totally on top of this networking craze. This is front of the house. What candidates touch, use, and see. There's 20 different ways to connect and be a part of our Sodexo family.
We've talked about Sodexo globally, but we're also mobily on the scene. Our mobile usage will increase 17-fold by 2016.
Don't be grossed out and hold on to your seats. But more folks use a mobile phone than a toothbrush, you see.
So don't be alarmed, but mobile traffic's coming your way. But when they try your site from their phone, what will they say? Have they hit a dead end? Can they go no more? Find a way for your site to allow interactions galore.
Our career site was great, but mobile users couldn't get there. And that was indeed a problem that we just could not bear.
So we innovated and optimized and found integration. Now mobile users can find their dream job, even on vacation.
If you apply and aren't chosen, please don't just leave. Stick around and stay in touch. We have tons of ways, please believe. Don't want to talk? For some, there's no doubt. So all of our communications have a place to opt out.
Get in the know and download our mobile app, and then you'll have access to us in a snap.
Internal, external, Sodexo alumni too. We ensure all types of candidates can reach us, wouldn't you? 3 different portals, we have them all. So each can apply without a hitch or a stall. Our internals can even log in and refer a friend. Just name us a name and then click send.
Regardless of the path, regardless of the way, all of Sodexo Careers traffic integrates into iCIMS each day. Whether Facebook or mobile or colleges or LI, there are a slew of different ways to log in and apply.
We talked about mobile, but here are some more stats. We'll go pretty quick, so hold on to your hats. Between mobile visitors and page views and downloads and postings too, the geek's pretty clear. Our traffic's growing vastly. Woohoo!
Responsive design, it's what we're doing new. With mobile technology, it can be personalized too. Innovation's what we stand for. It's that new mountain, new goal. So we invest in more technology. It's just how we roll.
And even in Q, well, we're social there too.
Our Starfinder referrals make for higher retention, it's true. It also improves quality and decreases cycle time too. It empowers our internals to give their suggestions, pays them cash in the end, and gives them some mentions. Starfinder candidates stay with us longer, 57% more than externals, and our stats are getting stronger.
For former employees, Reconnection's the group, and it works like a charm, so here's the scoop. 67% of employees want to come back, so we've invested a lot to help us keep track. Better in quality, quicker to ramp up, they stay with us longer, and this is what's up. The retention rate for alums is 44% more. We boast a membership of 7K, and we're building quite a core.
Walt Disney said it best, we just keep moving forward. We may use wearable technology and already have video on our job boards.
We've had our fair share of awards and thunder. We've even had a shout out from this mate from down under.
Our operators now see talent belongs to the team. We push internal mobility, and we're picking up steam. We changed the culture, and we stoked the fires, and now internals are 55% of our hires.
With all that we've done, our ideas keep sparking, but we always take our time to do our benchmarking. This helps us to get better and always improve. We keep going forward, always on the move.
The team pulls together to get the job done, each separate recruiter working as one, each with a contribution, their own that is unique. They all come to the table with their own technique.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go, bring me down. Can't no.
If Soups were alive in 2005, he would know what it took for recruiters to thrive. For the times they are a-changin', may we never stand still. We climb every mountain and seek out each new hill. For good enough never is our motto, our creed. Thank you for listening. Let the questions proceed.
Okay, so question number 1.
Hey, we didn't mention at the top, you have to ask the question in the form of a rhyme.
This was not pre-approved by the review panel. Okay, give me a moment. I accept your challenge.
You set us up now.
They're just trying to slow me down. So while most presentations are news, you presented in Sue's. Why? Thank you.
That's good. That's good. I can tell you, the Sue's was not created by because I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, we're not answering in rhyme the whole thing.
That's as good as it's going to get. We do have a poet on our team, Amy Brooks, and I know she's watching. She actually she did the poetry for this. But our team gets together every year. We have a national talent acquisition meeting, and this past year, over the last several years, our team's been working on building our talent advisory skills. And each of the teams did presentations at our national meeting. And one of the groups did a SUS conversation between hiring manager and recruiter. And it was just awesome. It was just fantastic. And we thought we could take that idea and build it into this presentation. That's where it came from.
Cool. So I imagine our Ask GD Summit hashtag questions may not be arrived, so we'll give them a hall pass for now. Allison, do we have any?
We just have one question here from, I think it's actually might be from someone on the Sodexo team. They said you did great, and they said, what was your inspiration for the session today?
The inspiration was, it was actually our team meeting that we had in Austin this past year. When we had a group who did a wonderful, everybody did fantastic presentations on Talent Advisor, but we really loved the SUS conversation, Talent Advisor conversation.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have a question. So my question is, can you talk a little bit about your mobile strategy? Obviously, I'm not doing it in rhyme, so you don't have to do it in rhyme back. Yeah. But the fact that you brought it up as something that's important, do you have any idea the percentage of traffic that's going to your career site from mobile right now versus desktop? And how did you guys determine what the strategy would be in terms of reaching the mobile candidate?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think to answer your second question first, I think the percentage is somewhere around 17% right now. It depends on whether you look at our website versus our career site, the ATS, and candidates, but it's right around there. But we recognized several years ago that you saw one of the slides that showed several of the different sites that are sending mobile traffic your way, whether you like it or plan for it or not. Glassdoor is one of them that has a great mobile user experience. So once the person engages with your brand on one of those sites and clicks apply or clicks learn more or what have you, they're being directed onto your site. And if you don't have anything that's optimized, typically, I think Laura said it earlier, typically they're going to bounce. So we recognized the need back then to at least have a mobile optimized career site that when people tried to come to our career site, they'd be able to experience our content. From that, we expanded that into our e-communications, into our ATS, our portals, our Career Center portals, and just about every other experience now that you can have on a desktop, we've created so you can do the same thing with us or experience the same content on mobile.
Questions from the audience? Yes.
I'm going to try this in Dr. Seuss here. So your presentation, it seemed, was quite eccentric. What tools do you use to measure your metrics?
Show off.
So,
Can we hire him?
yeah, we are total measurement geeks. And if there's a way to measure something, we're measuring it. So when we use a variety of different tools to help us measure, whether it's Avature and what we're getting out of our Avature system through iSIMS, but there's just a gazillion what we're getting through our mobile traffic, just everything. If there's a way to measure it, we're measuring it.
Do you have it
We have a lot of different people who have pieces of it. So we don't have one person who does all the measurement. But we have a person, just the measurement coming out of our applicant tracking, and the measurements coming out of each of our sources of hire. We look at that. We look at the diversity of each one of our sources of hire. We look at, and by discipline that we recruit for. So we have somebody who really focuses on that, and we have other people on the branding team.
Branding types of statistics as well.
Yeah, that are also, we do a separate dashboard just for the employment branding, but we measure everything in incredible detail and cut a gazillion different ways, so that we know what to keep doing, what to stop doing.
A couple of comments just came in before I go back to the audience. At Recruiting Blogs put in a comment that said, when the head of TA for a company wears a Dr. Seuss hat and does a case study as poem, that tells you everything about culture. #GD Summit. And is Carrie Noon in the audience right now? Yeah. Carrie just said, at Carrie Noon said, the award for most entertaining #GD Summit presentation via at Sodexo Anthony and at Arie from Sodexo Careers. So congrats.
Thank you.
You won Carrie Noon's award.
Did we get a 5-hour energy for that?
Oh, talk to Brian Shady. There were questions that were over here. Yes.
So with regard to mobile, what have you found or are finding about what content works best? Has there been anything that's jumped out at you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's what content works best that's jumped out at me, but how you present it definitely changes. So, and we've actually carried that back. It's kind of made us rethink how we present things on the desktop. So with the latest round of revisions that we did for our microsites, we have 8 discipline-specific microsites. We just rebranded them, put them into a responsive design. And of course, as part of the responsive design, we had to rethink how all of that content was presented, bring it down to the sort of bare minimum, what's the message that we want to get across. And as we did that, we said to ourselves, this is probably the way we should present it on the desktop as well. So really trying to clean up, make it, get our points across, have the calls to action, well placed and things like that. So I think it's more how it's presented than what it is. Yeah.
And to add on to Anthony's comment, we have found that when we're able to direct our content very specifically, that we have a lot more people are taking a look at it. So, an e-card that might go out to the general population will get one type of response, but when we specify, like to specific disciplines or to specific geographies, the response open rate goes up by three times.
All right, before we go back to the audience, I've got another question from Twitter that just came in from @HireQ Inc. They said, #AskGD Summit, what are your KPIs to measure your success?
Well, you want me to take that? I mean,
sure.
It's sort of similar to what Arie said earlier. We measure just about everything. So it depends on whether you're talking about our employment branding activities, website traffic volume, time on the site, candidate conversions. We look at KPIs for our some of our partners like Glassdoor, for example. We look at the candidate flow, whether those candidates are making it to the hiring manager slate, being considered for the position. On the recruiter side, there's a whole host of metrics on recruiter outcomes in terms of cycle time and things like that. So it's
a follow-up question to that I have. When you're looking at applicant flow, what we hear a lot about right now at Glassdoor is it's not so much about the candidate quantity, but it's about the quality. Right. How are you measuring candidate quality at Sodexo?
You've been talking to Eric, I see. Yeah, so the way that we are measuring quality or considering a quality candidate is those candidates that are forwarded to the hiring manager slate from our recruiters. And by when I refer to that quality measure, I'm referring to how we look at some of our partners, like Glassdoor, for example, the candidate flow from those partners. We look at, if we get a volume of candidates that come in and post to our jobs, you have the drop-off from the clicks from your site into our site, you have them applying for the job, you have the knockout questions, you have the recruiter resume review, you have the phone screen, and different types of assessments. If they get through all of those pieces and the recruiter still feels like they're among the most qualified in the rec to send forward to the hiring manager, even if they don't ultimately get the job, we feel like that's probably a good quality candidate to have in our system, and someone that we'll probably search for and encourage to apply for other jobs in the future. So that's sort of our measure. Yeah.
That's interesting, that you're not necessarily looking at the applicant to hire all the way through, but for you, it's almost the applicant to qualified applicant ratios, probably, if you're looking to measure. It's interesting.
It's exactly how we look at it. So, there's no value, honestly, if you have 200,000 candidates coming in and you're only hiring 0.5%, or there maybe 1% is getting onto slates. We're far better off to have fewer candidates but a higher percentage.
And who wants to spend the time or the money, right, to go through all of those unqualified resumes?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at, we specifically brought out on the slides employee referral and former employees, alumni, because those have incredible quality. We right now we hire about 1% of our external, but if it's a referral, we're hiring 20% of our referrals, and if it's a former employee, it's about 15%. So incredible quality, and we put a lot of effort into both of those.
Thank you. Other questions from the audience?
So your photo showed an army of people that really work to make this happen. If you're only a team of 1.5, how do you go? Where would you recommend someone start? You also have a social neighborhood, so perhaps you can also highlight maybe the first 3 social spaces you should go to, in case you just have like a condo, not a whole neighborhood.
You want to speak to the Army, or would you like me to speak to the Army? I personally think I say this all the time. I think our secret sauce is how many people we have participate in our, especially when it comes to social. In our case, we're blessed to have a good-sized recruitment team. So many of those are recruiters, but we also try to encourage that participation from our operations, because we have, just in the U.S. alone, we have 125,000 employees. So think about how much one person could do versus how much 100 or 120,000 people can do. So I strongly encourage anybody that's starting out like that, where you only have 1 to 2 people yourself, is who can you get involved within your organization? It doesn't have to be TA. It could be your operators. Could be anybody. But try to leverage your employees and your employee networks. I think that it's necessary. And to us, it's been, no question, it's been one of the key drivers of our success is the participation of our recruiters in our team. And personal opinion on the neighborhood piece, I think if I was starting out, I'd probably go with the big 3, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But it really depends on who you're recruiting and how you want to manage it, and what type of perception you want to get out there. There's probably, you can make arguments for Google+, you can make arguments for several others, but that's probably where I would start.
Yeah, and not to I will call out just one. There are tools that are available that could be helpful when you don't have a big team, and something like we use Qsocial, which helps, and to help once you have some content, but it'll help your operators and the few recruiters that you do have to get a little bit more social.
I just have one real quick. How hard, obviously you have a great deal of support behind what you're doing. So how hard was it, or what was the key to getting executive buy-in to really get behind you to support these efforts? There's a lot of recognition today about how important the business process is of bringing the right talent into an organization. Many people in the room probably don't have that support behind them. So what were the key things that you brought to the table to the executive team that got you this support and obviously increased budget?
We didn't have, yeah.
Let me just repeat the question for those on the live stream so that they could hear. Just the question was, what type of executive buy-in did you have to get, or what was the process? Because there's probably many people in this room, right, and also I'm sure on the live stream that might not have the army of resources. So that was just the question I wanted to repeat.
Yeah. So when we started back in 2007. And we had it a little easier than some companies because we started our talent acquisition from scratch. and on the heels of a failed RPO. So and we started from scratch, and we were in, it was such a big issue, all the challenges with recruitment at the time. So we had the ability to do a lot more than maybe some other folks did. One of the things that did occur way back then is we had tried Second Life, and that was, we included that in our slides, and we got involved in it, and there was an unintended consequence with Second Life. Though we chose, that we didn't want to continue with Second Life, one of the things that came out of it was incredible media attention. So it was global. I mean, every major media outlet around the world. It was incredible the amount of attention that we got, because not only were the other companies were tech companies that were doing the Second Life recruiting, but we were a hospitality company. We hired a chef by the name of Chef Bellagio from the Las Vegas hotel. So it was a great story, and he was really a great interview. So we got so much great attention that we had a lot of internal credibility. And we utilized, I think that internal credibility helped us. But we put a plan together. We decided not to go with, the whole second, to go with Second Life, but we were going to go with your basic, social media plan with the blog and, Facebook and LinkedIn at the time. And we had a plan. We shared it with our executive group. In fact, the blog in the beginning, we showed them what we wanted to do was a closed blog, and they could just take a look at it. And what we were doing, there was plans on how we would approach negative comments. This is before, people really knew, that the negative comments weren't such a horrible thing. So, that's how it started. We had some luck with it, but we also had internal, there was a confidence, and we did all we could to put people at ease. We did a lot of training as well. So.
Yeah, I think I'll echo the training piece, and I also think we tried to be very good partners, and the question should probably be asked of Carrie there, because she was one of the ones that really led that effort back then. But all of those concerns that your organization might bring forward, whether it's from your communications department or your legal department or what have you, we tried to partner with them, and we did. We worked very closely with them, kept them involved, kept them very well informed. If there was a negative comment that we felt would be sensitive, we'd let them know, hey, this is a negative comment, what do you think about this reply type of thing. So we tried to show them over and over again that we were going to be good stewards of the brand, and do no harm.
Yeah. How are we on time? One more? One more question.
Okay, do you have a formal response triage that you use for that? Did you have to build that out to show executives, hey, we got it, we have a plan in place, there's a crisis?
Officially, since this is my boss and she told me to create that 3 years ago, officially I'm going to tell you, yes, we do.
We can talk later then.
It's all right here.
The amazing thing is that, back then everybody was afraid of it, especially, corporations, losing control of the brand. But we had some really difficult things going on, and our recruiters not once did anything that was embarrassing or that wasn't right, not once. And we had, like I said, there was some crazy things that were happening back then, and some difficult. The people know, the recruiters are well trained, they're professionals, and they know. And everybody was watching what was going on, and not once was there a slip up. So people know that if you're not going to put it in an email, why would you, put it on a billboard that, on time? It's crazy that there was that kind of concern. And when there was something negative, our community came to came to support what was being said. So, once people saw that, there was a lot more comfort. But the point that I think having that kind of a triage and a plan and putting it out on paper helps other people feel good. And it's a good idea to start that way.
Agreed.
All right, well, thanks very much.
Thank you.